Welcome to another episode of the Center Circle podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here with Chooks, Chappy, football, and there's a lot to talk about in football. International, we're coming to the end of the international break. Me, personally, I don't like international break. So I'm happy it's over. I'm happy August is coming. Season 1, that's my priority now. But there's a lot to talk about with Copa America, with the Euros. I want to get you guys' initial thoughts before we even go far. Euros final, England, Spain. Chooks, I'll start with you. Because you give me a balanced, unbiased, unproblematic view first.
Before you go to the...
Before I get to the... You know now. It's Chappy now.
The Euros have come and gone. Congratulations to Spain for winning yet another Euros trophy. Speaking about the game specifically, I would say it's definitely was a disappointing outing for the English players and of course the English fans who were expecting it to come back home, but it didn't come back home, and it was a product of how the English team played on that night, right? The whole of the game, the English, as far as I was concerned, they were quite terrible.
Very reactive, actually.
Right, they were quite terrible. They didn't seem like they had the confidence of a finalist. You can just tell with how they played. All the games they played during the whole competition and how they got to the finals. Whether it was how they struggled with beating Slovakia, right? How they played. Two penalty shootouts to get to their group games were rarely there was rarely any moments. Basically, in this, apart from the Slovakia Jude Bellingham goal, I would want to think that there was really no moment for the English team throughout the Euros. Let's just be factual. And that whole thing played out in the finals, where even after they were a goal down and they equalized, they didn't have that character to and build on that momentum to help them either see through to the end of the game at regulation time, either by holding the draw or even going ahead to score a second goal and win the game. Did Spain deserve to win the Euros? Certainly they did. They won all the games.
Yeah, that's impressive.
They won all the games in all the games they played in the tournament, and not just winning convincingly.
And also winning against...
They edged out Italy.
Exactly.
They edged out Germany.
France.
They edged out France. So if you are able to defeat these very heavyweights in European football, I don't think winning England would be anything spectacular as it is.
Chappy, let's hear your thoughts now. I'm eager to hear what you have to say.
Well, it was a very successful tournament. Very interesting. Out of the great size in European football, great players everywhere. But the finals, it was just destined. First of all, I think England, they have their jinx. The English FA, their football side, they have their jinx. Since 1966, I don't think their senior team have ever come against I've ever won any
major trophy
in
international football.
And then we have another culprit in the team who has not won anything, who has scored maybe close or more than 300 goals
in his
career and has never won a trophy. That is the most for any player to have scored that amount of goals without a trophy. That's a record on its own. I think Guinness World Record needs to look into that. Yes. Because I don't think
Chappie's record.
No, yes. Because I don't think there's any player who has scored even 100 goals without winning something.
Without winning a trophy. It's just to quickly bring it in. I was telling you, Chappie, earlier on. It's like for Harry Kane, he's starting to get to the point where you can't. I'm not a superstitious guy. I'm not being me prayerful past. But you have to start asking questions.
He's not the son of a praying mother.
You need to start.
If the mama they pay tithes, I know they should say.
How many years? How many years did Harry Kane spend in Tottenham?
I think he spent
Close to 10 years.
Ten years.
At least 10 years. You spend at least 10 years in Tottenham. You people win nothing. Not an FA Cup, not a League Cup, nothing. The one time in his Tottenham career that they get to a final, the manager in charge, Jose Mourinho, has like an almost 90% success rate in finals. He's sacked on the eve of the final. Okay. Another manager comes in, Antonio Conte. He has won trophies everywhere he has gone to. It's only when he comes to manage your club he wins nothing. Okay, you go to Bayern Munich. How is it possible?
A team that
a team has won the Bundesliga
winning for 12 or 11 consecutive years.
It just so happens that it's the year you come. Not only don't they win it, but Bayer Leverkusen now decide that they don't know how to lose football games anymore. Now they can't lose. And then now that has happened, you go to the Euros, 2 Euros final, nothing. Bayern, of all the managers in the world, the person that just got relegated with Burnley, Harry Kane needs to consult
a manager who has not won anything has been employed to Bayern.
Not just hasn't won anything. A recently relegated
exactly.
So
that means now Harry Kane should just
consult God.
He should just X his mind for winning anything.
Bro,
let's take it easy.
Back to what I was saying. No, see, I mean, let us put it this way. If we have to look at both factors, although it sounded like it's a joke, like it's funny, but sometimes we just need to look at most of these jinx because, I mean, in life, there are so many things that people don't put into consideration. But I just feel this is something the English FA needs to look into. And just probably, I think...
I beg. You guys are being superstitious.
Guys.
Again, I feel like...
But wait, hold on, let me complete. I don't want to wait so much. See, even though they've not played great football during the whole tournament. But at the same time, I was back in England. I don't know if you remember for the previous episodes. I've been saying they've not been played. They've got great talents all over the pitch, even on the bench. But there's just something happening in that team. Something's not working. It's not the manager's fault. It is nobody's fault. They are playing good football.
I beg to differ there.
But wait. Do you know why I said so? England have had golden generations several times. They've had great generations. There was a time they had Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes in midfield. They had Rooney. They had David Beckham. They've had great players. You understand? They've had Sheringham. They've got Alan Shearer. They've had great talent. But they've won nothing.
See.
And now you can't blame man. There was a time they had Sven Goran Eriksson. They've had
Fabio Capello.
They've got managers who have really won something. And then they've got managers that have won something, and then they come to your national team level and they start doubting their abilities as managers. They start asking themselves if they can.
I don't know about any superstitious whatever.
You understand?
I'm going to speak specifically about the game on Saturday, on the finals on Sunday, right? You do not play. First of all, the first half, it was basically a 70-30 possession for Spain before Spain got the goal. Then you managed to equalize, and at that period, you had like good 10 to 12, 15 minutes where you were in control of the game, and all you could do was to tell your players to sit back. And you get, and even if you didn't tell your players to sit back, you saw them trying to sit back, and you could not fire them up to chase the game and see if you could get a second game. It's on you as the coach. You cannot excuse the coach from that tactical decision, whether the decision was made by the players. Let me. Okay, now one thing that was evident was you scored your goal, your equalizer, and you relaxed. It was very, very clear to see.
Let me.
You can't say you don't blame somebody. Somebody has to take the blame.
Yeah, and then box stops at the manager.
Let me be realistic about the finals now. All sentiments aside, all superstitious beliefs aside. Now, that finals, when I saw the game, there was this tactical brilliance that Spain they actually employed rather, where they skipped the midfield to get to the attack. Now it's like a pattern where they play from behind, they play from the. You know that goalkeeper is a
good distributor.
Yeah, it's a good distributor. So he distributes it to his midfield, maybe his left back or his right back, and then those one they locate Yamal
Yeah.
or the other guy,
Como.
Williams.
Williams, yeah.
They take the ball straight. They skip midfield because they know England are packed in the midfield. England believe in their midfield, so they skip it. Boom. They tried it first time. They got a quick counter where I think he missed the ball. They tried it again. Yamal. They kept trying. They found out that that is the loophole. And mind you, the same wing they were attacking the most was the same wing where this City defender is.
Walker.
Exactly. That was where the 2 goals came from. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is, there's when a manager like De La Fuente, which is Spain's manager, he has done his homework correctly.
Yeah.
He knew that if he puts this ball on the ground and try to play from the back and build on,
You can't get past the midfield.
he won't get past the midfield. And he knows these English players, they are fast. And he knows he's center forward, Morata. He knows he's not much of a pacey player. You understand? And he knows that definitely the English defense will swallow him. So what did he do? He made sure once they give the ball to his defenders, when they hold the ball, tap, William is free, boom. William can dribble. He can maintain position. He can cut.
He actually, for me personally, he impressed me the most in that final.
The same way, if they get the ball to Yamal, he can create problems. If they get the ball to Olmo, he can do the same thing. So those 3 men forward, they don't even care about Morata. They don't even care if he's there. And one thing I love about Morata throughout the whole competition, I've been watching his movement. He drops deep. He plays like a false 9 too. He comes in midfield, wins the ball, gives it to those wingers. Because he knows those are the points of attack. Yeah. So England were busy looking for a way to push from midfield because they had three men in the back. And then they let their wing back move forward to have that freedom.
Yeah.
And they forgot that these people have already done their homework. And they're skipping that midfield to attack.
You know the thing with England, we'll just touch on this really quickly because we have a bunch of things to talk about. The problem I always have when I see England under Gareth Southgate, who is not a manager I respect, by the way. Personally, it's a very... Look, if you're a manager, you haven't won anything before, I don't think you should be managing the England team. I think the England team should somehow be managed by a manager that has a reputation. Look at Gareth Southgate. What's his reputation in football? It's not really... There's nothing I can really vouch for. And then the second thing is, even if you look at the man, he's a very bland character. You look at the manager of Argentina or Spain, or you look at managers who have been successful in football, maybe you're in Klopp, Pep Guardiola, there's something about having an attitude, a character, a persona. Yeah. Gareth Southgate looks like, he's too polite, he's too meek.
He looks like someone who chicha.
He looks like someone that if I raise my voice, you keep quiet. And then you are managing a team with superstars. Jude Bellingham is coming from the Bernabeu, and Phil Foden has won a treble, and there's this player and there's that player there. You have to be a character to coordinate these forces together. You can't be bland. You can't be lost in the shuffle.
The same thing I said during the final. I told a friend, I said, do you know that this English side has serial winners in their squad?
And just to wrap it up, because we have a press for time.
I said almost both the right backs, the left backs, almost all the players are filled with winners in their various teams.
It's like
in their various club sides. Then why are they not performing in the national team? I said the reason is because maybe the manager is not that confident enough. Because each time, when you go through the games, go through the highlight reels of the English games, you find out that before any decision is made by Southgate, he consulted like 3 or 4 of his backroom staffs, and it's like they decide and say, "Oh, okay, let's do this, let's do that." I feel England needs a manager who probably just talks with one person. Or what do you think? Maybe a tactical analyst one of his backroom staffs who comes and says, "Oh, okay, let's do this, do that," and he says, "Oh, okay, let him go in." That is it. They need a manager with that type of...
You need someone who has and that comes with success. Exactly. When you've won before, you can back yourself and feel like I can make these decisions because it's me. I've done it before. The last thing I'll say about England is every time I watch England, there is a chronic lack of simplicity that I see in other clubs. And what's beautiful about it is you find a way of seeing Toni Kroos, for example, doing in the German national team what we know he can do well from everything he does in Real Madrid. You watch Spain play football, and then you see Yamal being on the wing. Williams being on the wing. Morata is a center striker. You see them coordinate their forces in a way where these players, we know, because again, it's a national team. How long do these guys have together? So you kind of like need them to replicate the good things that they do. You can then get to England. All of a sudden, Trent Alexander-Arnold is now not a right midfielder. He's now not a right back. He's now a right midfielder. All of a sudden, this person is here. They want to start playing with this and that. You know, you've not seen Bellingham in one position before. Like, just simplify. It doesn't need to be too complicated. Anyway, per England, we should also let our viewers know Gareth Southgate is now no longer the English manager.
I think he did the great thing.
That's
the greatest decision.
Copa America as well. Argentina, again, winners of the Copa America. I'm not really too surprised, to be honest with you. It's kind of like what I expected. But there are some controversies. So there are some things that happened during the Copa America that might raise some concerns. The most notable one, or the most recent one, something that has to do with a little bit of racism. But before we touch into that, let's just get into the actual football. What did you guys think, or what differences did you guys feel between the two tournaments? Between maybe the level of attention from the Copa and then the Euros? I just like
the time of the games, one. Secondly, also viewership and availability of viewing points.
True.
You get, so those two factors you would say contributed to perhaps a lower visibility for the Copa America, right? But outside that, you can also say that the quality of players in both tournaments can also become a factor. You may almost say that almost all the players that play in the Europa, in the Euros, are high-profile players. You know, people who play in the top leagues, from England to Germany to France to Spain to the Netherlands. These are players who you hear their names. There's visibility week in, week out. We all know that the best leagues are around Europe, right? In terms of quality, venue, spend, budgeting, and all that, right? So obviously there's more visibility for the players, unlike the South America, where most of the players, apart from maybe 1 or 2, 3 people in the team, are playing outside the continent, right? Obviously, countries like Argentina, you have more of their players playing outside, but the bulk of the players that played in the Copa America are players who play within that continent, right? So they're either playing in MLS, especially for maybe the teams like the US or Canada or whatever the case may be. The guys in Brazil play in the Brazilian league. Guys who play in Argentina. So that's it. You know, and you can never compare that the profile of both competitions.
That's a great point you made. Chappie, let's know. Chappie, don't make me laugh, I beg. Chappie, what did you think about the Copa America?
I saw the final. I watched the final.
Oh, really?
It was great. Well, the downside of the final was, the whole chant that happened, and Messi getting injured in the final was those were like the downsides of the finals, the final rather. Then Colombia played great football. But I know I have a Liverpool player there, but at the same thing I always complain about is that same guy. But the same thing he was doing.
Who's that?
Diaz.
Oh, that's
always running. He doesn't make those runs inside, and it just affected them anyways. But I feel I always knew Argentina would win. It is written, it is destined. Messi will win it. You know, guy, what he be. But bad as it bad, they've won. Congratulations to Argentina. Yeah, Messi has won 3 national honors with Argentina. So I think he has cemented himself. No more debate. Everyone is happy. Everyone is rested now that he has done it for club side and country side. And it was a great final. I saw the game, beautiful, attacking left and right. Both teams were attacking each other. But the Colombia side were actually stronger. They were faster. They were tactically disciplined, but there's just this thing about the Argentine side that they were not easy to break. They were not easy to penetrate. And no, they have one of the best goalkeepers in the world, one of the best goalkeepers in the world in Martinez. So I mean that's another state. They have the best player in the world in Lionel Messi. They have one of the finest strikers in the world, Lautaro Martinez, who came in the I think in the extra time or maybe later in the second half. That was when he came in. So I mean it was great football. I enjoyed it. I had to stay up all night to view the game because it's a final. But yeah, enjoyable.
That's a key point, and that's one thing that I'm thinking about in terms of how we're comparing the two tournaments. Because again, something like Chuk said, the difference in quality in terms of the players and managers in Europe to South America is night and day. In fact, 80% of the players who play football in South America do so with the hope and dream that they can migrate to Europe and go and play their football there. So it's a complete contrast. Kylian Mbappe, a player who has for so many years been a dominant name in football, said it publicly that the World Cup is easier than the Euros. That the Euros, and then people were being emotional, but there's context to what he's talking about because
Exactly.
you're in the Euros, Italy, you could play in the World Cup and maybe you're drawn in a group with Montenegro or Togo or something. The difference in quantity is different there, but then you are playing in the Euros. You could face Germany, Italy, Spain, Portugal. You could even face Poland and be like, it's just Poland, but there's just Lewandowski there. You're playing against Norway, and then you think it should be easy, but then all of a sudden there's a Haaland or an Odegaard. So
Exactly.
Europe is a top of the shelf, creme de la creme quality when it comes to football. The second thing I'm thinking about is that the World Cup is going to be in the United States next year. And it has not occurred to me until the Copa America just now how much of a difference the fact that the viewing time, what that's going to do to a lot of people's ability to enjoy the World Cup.
I mean, I don't think that would be a problem. I mean,
Really?
if history reminds us, even when we've seen competitions happen in Brazil, in South America, the World Cup happened in Brazil. We watched the the Olympic happened in 1996 in Atlanta. We watched. As a matter of fact, I was still a kid there, but I watched the semi-finals and the finals. Although the finals happened quite earlier than the regular games. I mean, regular games started by 1 a.m., 2 a.m.
Wow.
But you get during the 96 Olympics, right? So it's not something that is unusual, right? The most important thing is where for a competition like the World Cup, the viewership is more expanded.
Yeah.
Right? So we can watch the World Cup from Nigeria at any time. It's unlike the Copa America where viewing rights doesn't even get this way.
True.
So I don't think that will hamper a lot. I mean, the viewing times will hamper a lot with viewership.
That's a very fair point. Last thing I want to say about the Copa America, what do you guys think about potential security concerns? Now, before the Copa America, there were already a couple of people who were concerned about an international tournament being hosted in the United States. For majorly, the reason is because of the gun laws in the US. They have access to guns. It's their thing. It's a thing in their country. It's something that they're very, very proud of nationally, which we're not going to get into that. But thing is, it's an international tournament. A lot of tourists, a lot of different people. It's going to be a fun month or two. Nice for the tournament, whatever. But there's also going to be people testing each other out. Like, people are going to annoy each other. And it's something to get irritated by someone. Like, sometimes I annoy Chappie.
And
all Chappie can do is talk back and we can have a spat or something. But you're talking about, a place where, why is this Portuguese or Puerto Rican person talking to me in a manner I don't like? I've got an AR-15. So... But that aside,
again, I mean, so this is not the first time again that the World Cup is going to happen in US soil. Just that only this time it's happening across 3 North American countries: Mexico, the US, and Canada. Right. So how these 3 countries harmonize their security apparatus is what's going to be determinant on how successful the tournament is or how safe it's going to be security wise. I mean, we saw very unfortunate scenes of from the finals where people were accessing this stadium through vents, right? It's
Vents.
through the vents. Like it's something that I thought this kind of things will only happen in third world countries. But these are even some of these people even paid money as much as I saw people saying they paid as much as $10,000 for match tickets and everything and all that. I mean, football is big and they couldn't access the stadiums, and it's something that the FIFA really needs to look into as the World Cup draws near. They really need to fix these things and make sure that this kind of problems do not happen in 2026. Right? We can't be seeing fan access to games being a problem in 2026. Security of the players should also be paramount for the FIFA, making sure that players are protected in the pitch. Their families, if they make it to the stadium, are also protected. I mean, I believe there should be specific designated sitting areas for families of the players and everything. But really, it shouldn't be happening. And I hope that they get it right, FIFA.
So, in the case of the security stance, the United States, I think the United States is a country where security is one of their topmost. When you check their national budget almost every year, they spend so much on security. But I think that is just a normal. There's something they call human minute of madness, where moments of madness, where everybody just wants to act mad at the same time. So that's why we saw those clips where fans were trying to break into the stadium. And mind you, the craziest people in the world, some of the craziest people are from in South America. No offense to them. I mean, it's like a compliment, not like it is like crazy, but South Americans, you don't want to go. You don't want to do crazy business with them. So imagine America, a country of law where they have so much law and they have so much freedom at the same time. You're trying to stop a Colombiana or an Argentinos from going to watch their team. And this South America, they are crazy about football. And they know America, they're not crazy about football. And maybe to them, they feel, oh, you guys are trying to stop us from watching our favorite game. So I think they just all had to barge in, try to get into the stadium or something. It is normal. If you check some of the South American leagues, you see some crazy headlines. Just recently,
a police officer.
I feel South America is the extension of Nigeria. That whole continent, they're like the brand. They're just mad.
That's my worry, people.
A police shot a
player. I remember seeing that video. And I was thinking to myself,
what the
I was waiting for the joke. I was waiting for.
You think so,
shoot them now.
They want prank,
bro. Bullet hole in this guy's leg.
Guy, official match.
Official license.
Guy, let me say that Sunday League football.
I mean, shout out. I mean, like I said earlier, I hope the FIFA, because at the end, as it is right now, the buck stops at FIFA. FIFA has to ensure that they work with these three countries to ensure that a repeat of what happened at the Copa America doesn't surface because it will be totally embarrassing. Maybe not to even US, but to FIFA itself, because FIFA is the organizing body.
Let me add something. I think the next World Cup, which is going to be hosted in America, Mexico and Canada, they need to adopt so many security personnel from the FBI to the CIA.
That one we did normal.
The reason is because we all know how Mexico is. We know their story. We know they have cartels. It is not a joke. It's not the play. You know, go miss open goal. Make they don't see you again. Or make you go score Mexico. No, make you no lie. We see what happened in the last election, where all the people who came out as contestant.
Aspirant,
All the aspirants, they were assassinated. Only one person. You think it's a joke? It is a joke. Manchester Nigeria won't play Mexico now. You can't go score.
Oh my God.
Osimhen go score Mexico
Well,
for their land.
But,
Now,
I mean,
if it go possible make DSS and EFCC follow go.
bro, come on, man.
Bro, don't be joke.
Come on, man. Come on.
clubs are now, especially in the Premier League, clubs are now aware that they cannot just. I mean, you've seen the Premier League actively punish teams for breaching financial fair play rules and club sustainability rules. So clubs are going to be a bit more savvy. They are now knowledgeable of the fact that they can actually be punished. There can be consequences for this. Nobody wants to start the season and get a 10-point deduction. That's for sure. So I can't wait to see what happens, and I can't wait for the new season to start. It's just there's something that comes with a new season starting. There's so many stories to check. How's Mbappe going to fare in Real Madrid? How is Arne Slot going to fare at Liverpool?
How's the new manager, Mascara?
For
Chelsea.
And we will be here giving you the lowdown on all of these gist as it unfolds on the Central Circle podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, that ends today's episode. Catch you next time.
Bye, yeah.